What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XCN. You guys hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I thought I talked about XCN yesterday, but I'm looking at the list and it wasn't even on the list. You guys, so many of you requested this coin. I'm not even kidding. This might be the most requested coin that I've had in a while. I want to say there's like a dozen of you in YouTube that requested this coin, and there's a few of you on the Discord that requested this as well. So sorry that it's taken so long. It's been like 3 days since those requests came out, maybe even 4 days for some of you, but we're talking about it now. We're sitting at 0.00186, and there's not a whole lot to say, right? Because I've made videos over the past 2 months on XCN, right? I've made several videos. We're in the same area. We're not doing anything. I will say that I did not expect that we'd be consolidating for this long. I would have expected that we moved up higher sooner. I don't think that means that this thing's dead, right? I don't think it means anything bad. But that just, it just means that we're not being exciting right now. We're just gonna have to wait to be exciting. I do believe that we're gonna go lower from the current price, because if we look at the daily, lower than the current price does not mean lower than this low. I don't think we're gonna go lower than that low, but if we look at the daily, we were wound up, ready to go up, but we didn't get any momentum. We did break down. We've rejected the 50 now with today's movement to the downside, and actually yesterday and today's movement to the downside. It's not a good look, so I would expect that we'd move lower. But if we take this relative low here to this relative high of this kind of like local area, you can see that we found support on the 618 once, twice, and now resistance at the 382. Generally speaking, guys, when you find support on the 382, or sorry, the 618 twice, and then on your third attempt, that's when you break through it. You look to find support at the 786, 886 zone. And I think that's important to note, because we actually have found support on our local 786 already. From this low to this high, 786 was right where we found support, right there. I wonder, did we find support? I wonder. I don't think we did. I don't think that's a 786. Okay, that's a 618. Okay, but relatively speaking, 786. So I theorize, based on that alone, that perhaps we find support at this 786, at these areas. I'm going to delete the overall fib. At these areas of support here on the chart, right? You can see right there, we found support time and time again right there, day after day. Right there at the 786 at 0.00171. So I think that's where we're going to go. If that doesn't hold, then somewhere between there and 0.00164, but I do think that's where we're headed. If we don't go there, I would assume that we hold a higher low somewhere up around here. I would not think that we go lower. And then from there we can work our way up. So that's kind of my immediate predictions to the downside. A little bit lower, yes, it makes sense. Rejecting the 50, we had the coiling, we were ready to move up, but we just didn't do it, man. So oddly enough, guys, the 123 moving average, the daily moving average here, it's sloping up pretty solidly, and the price is just moving down, which is kind of funny, but it'll probably start to slope down over the coming days. But just to show how like strong this movement was back here. Speaking of strong movements, we'll talk about everybody's favorite when it comes to any crypto, which is the all-time high potentials. I want to make sure that I've got the chart that has the most data, because I think that's the all-time high. And then checks out, so we're going to go with that. That's the all-time high. So all-time high there to the all-time low. 382 resistance, 236 area of, hopefully we find support here, whatever. When we move up, the next target area is going to be the 61869, and that's all the way at 1.55 cents. Let's call it 1.56 to 2.2 cents. Okay, from the current area, from the current price, and I do think we're going to go a little bit lower, but from the current price, that would be an increase of about 700 to 1,000%. It's about an 8x to an 11x. Okay. That's the next target area. It's not where I think the cycle is going to end. That's just the next target area. Being that we found resistance here at the 236 and at the 382, I suppose we could take into consideration the 0.5, but even that is 368% above, right? And likely when we make this move, whether it's here or to the 61869 zone, it'll likely be fast, right? Just as it was the other two times. It's not going to take half a year or a whole year, right? It's not going to take longer than that to get there. It's going to take like a month to 2 months time to make that move. When we decide to do that, that's not a month or 2 months from now. It could be, But once we start to make the move, once we've established that we are breaking out and moving higher, that's what's to look forward to. The all-time high that I think is going to come into place this cycle is at a minimum going to be at 42.3 cents. If not, even $2.42 is on the menu. And I want to go over why that's possible. Okay, so I want to say first and foremost that 242 is a lot less likely than 43 cents is, right? It's a lot less likely, but it is a target area. And let's actually go over it right now. So we're going to talk about XCN. I'm sorry, XCN. All these tickers, man, all of them. You guys read the XCN white paper, onyx.org white paper. If you go here, it's just right there, white paper. If you want to know more about this coin, just click the white paper and read through it. It's just a DeFi coin, right? Seems pretty interesting. Seems legit to me. I think it's very important to read white papers, you guys. The more white papers you read for crypto, the more you're going to see they're all the same, like essentially, right? Whether it's a DeFi token, a smart contract token, a metaverse, they're all the same, right? They all are filled with promises, or at least most of them are. The more you read them, the better you will be at sifting through the stuff that's just BS versus the stuff that, okay, they're trying a little bit, right? And I think Onyxcoin is trying, but we'll see. Time will tell. What we're doing is math. We're going to do math. So calculator. That's where I got distracted. We're going to measure from the current price to the 1272, which would be the minimum target. That is a 22,224% growth. To put that in X factors, that would be a 223.2x. So let's just do that. 223.2 times the current market cap, which is 55.231 million. So let's do that. This is in millions. 55.231 million. Every 1,000 will be billions. Yes, every 1,000 will be billions. So that right there, at a minimum, the minimum target, 42.3 cents, would give us a $12 billion market cap, right? $12.3 billion market cap. That's absolutely attainable. 100% in one cycle, by the end of this cycle, that is absolutely an attainable number. This 223x, completely possible. Completely, even, it sounds crazy right now, man, but even there's a decent likelihood, a very decent chance, right? It really does all start with how we interact with the 61869 zone. That is why that's the first thing I mentioned as our next target area. It depends on how we interact with the zone to determine how well we're going to go here. Again, I was saying, talking about the support down here. Hey, that's Mufasa. That's my cat. What's up, Mufasa? Say hi. Hi. Hello. Little Mufasa break. Just stay there and look pretty. All right. What I was saying here, back in this zone, man, I hate having to zoom in and zoom out, but I don't like it on auto. So how from this low to this high here, you found support on the 618 twice. So oftentimes when you find significance on it twice, the third time when you do break it, or the fourth time when you break it, whatever, would likely mean that you hold support on the 786 or 886. It's the same thing with resistance on this larger scale, right? The more interactions we have with this 61869 area without breaking through it, the less likely we're going to see these extended areas, the more likely we would stop at 6 to 3.6 cents, which even from the current price, if we only go to 3.6 cents, that's still like at a minimum. Like if you were to do bad, that's like a 20x, right? If you were to do bad, that's a 20x and potentially to like a 33x, right? So worst case scenario, that's still decent gains. The minimum of what's to be the best case scenario is ridiculous gains. And then if we were to go to the 1618, which is actually crazy, it's actually nuts. That'd be 1,287x. I don't know about that. Let's just try that though. 1,287, is that what I said? 1,287, because the 6 you add 1. Anytime it's the hundreds you add 1. Just trust me. Okay, I promise you that's how you do it. That times the current market cap, which is 55.231 million. 55.231 million. So every 1,000 is $1 billion. That's 71 billion, dude. 71 billion is still completely achievable. It's a high market cap. It's no small feat to accomplish, don't get me wrong. But a $71 billion market cap, there's a chance for that, right? There's a chance. This thing could do a 1,200 to 1,300x. There's actually a chance for that. There's no chance Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Dogecoin, Solana, there's no chance that any of those coins could see those kind of gains, right? There's really no chance. This coin has that chance, right? It really, and even more likely, it has the chance of a over 200x. And at the worst case scenario that I can possibly imagine, still a 20 to a 30 something x. So that's phenomenal, man. And it makes me want to sell my car and buy more of this coin right now. And that is all assuming, right? It's all assuming that this coin moves up from here and it doesn't shit the bed. But I don't think it will, man. I think that it will. I think that it will move up. I don't think that it'll move down. Maybe from the current price it moves down a little bit, but just overall, what I'm trying to say is I don't think we're going to break down this structure. If we do, then c'est la vie. But it's definitely not my biggest hold. But I'm every time I make a long-term video like this on it, man, I do think I'm like I need to buy a little bit more. But that's the thing. That's the thing, right? You see these numbers, right? You hear these numbers and how it is completely possible. We've seen coins that have been, they're going through their first bull cycles. We've seen them achieve market caps, Shiba Inu, of tens of billions of dollars, right? 60 to 80 billion. I forget what it was last cycle. Let's actually look. Shiba. Granted, it's a Dogecoin. It had its own niche thing. It gained a lot of traction. I said Dogecoin. It's a meme coin. Because of Dogecoin, it gained a lot of traction, right? It's so funny because how Shiba lifted off was the Dogecoin killer, and they came out, it was like their mission statement, and they got a lot of backlash in the Dogecoin community and like in the meme community, and they've changed that. Now they don't want to be the Dogecoin killer. They want to try to be their own thing because they realize anything that tries to be a whatever killer, it's an impersonator, but you can't fool the OGs, man. We all know Shiba's just a Doge impersonator, but I think Shiba's going to do well. I definitely do think it's going to do well. Market cap, I mean, it already has done well. Market cap at the low last cycle for what we have available, that's not what it was. It was lower than that, man. We can't really get it, can we? Is there? Let's see. Sheep, maybe. Nope. It's not going to give it to us. It did run all the way up to 54 billion, but you guys, it was worth less than that. I'm telling you, it was worth less than that at some point. Because overall, last cycle, that would be a 26x. Shiba grew way more than that, man. It did more than Dogecoin did, so that's not accurate. But it topped off at a $52 billion market cap is all I'm trying to say. And it did start from like a tens of millions of dollar market cap, which XCN is at right now, tens of millions to tens of billions. So I'm just saying, I'm only using this as an example to show you that however unlikely it might be, out of thousands of cryptos, tens of thousands of cryptos, this was the one that did it. However unlikely it might be, it is a possibility. It's something that I think is worth considering. So absolutely, man, this thing could do a 1000x. And going back to the point of how I was saying I want to put more money in this thing, but then I pull myself back. The reason why I haven't put more money in this thing is 1000x, you guys. I mean, on $1,000, 1000x is a $1 million. Technically it's a $999,000 profit, right? $1,000 times 1,000 is $1 million, let alone times 1,200, right? It's like 1,200,000. Why would I need to bet the farm on a coin like this right? If it's going to see those tremendous gains, why bet the farm? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it underperforms. Well, still, that's nice, right? Maybe it shits the bed. Well, I didn't bet the farm, right? Maybe it doesn't go crazy, but it does something that's more expectable. If I only put $1,000 in, which I've definitely got more than $1,000 in this thing, but if I only put $1,000 in, something that is like sizable, right? Something, I'm not talking about $1,000 being sizable to you. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You put something in that is sizable to you, whether it's 100, whether it's 1,000, whether it's 10,000, whatever, and it goes up 223x, you're not going to be upset with a $1,000, like, you know what I mean, turning into $200,000. That's not going to be bad. If you put $100 in there, that's $2,200 something dollars, right? That's not going to be. Is that right? Be 20,000. I'm sorry, 20 something thousand dollars. That's not bad at all, right? So you don't need to bet the farm to see tremendous gains, because again, this thing it's very new. It hasn't been around for that long. There is a lot of volume in it, but it's, I would say, relatively underperforming. Let's see, actually, let's compare it to Bitcoin, maybe. Do we have an XCN BTC chart? Oh, we do. Look at you. Obviously underperforming Bitcoin, but since October, it's actually done well. Since, the bull market started, it's actually, let's see. No, because the bull market started back in November 2022. Oh, wow. So actually, no, since the bull market started, this thing has done really bad versus Bitcoin. Where was I going to go with this, man? Where was I going to go? Oh yeah, that's what I was. That actually is where I was going to go with this. Was, coins that underperform versus Bitcoin throughout the bull market they're not normally known to perform the best. So again, just alluding to that idea that if this doesn't do what we're hoping for, you'll be glad you didn't bet the farm, because you never know when something like that could happen, or it underperforms, whatever. It's just the same point I've been trying to deliver home poorly for the last 10 minutes. So I'm going to end it there, man. I think I'm done with this. All that to say, man, I gave you the TA. I think we're going down to 0.00171. After that, we're going to go up to about 1.5 to 2.2 cents, right? That's the target area. Am I right? Sorry. Not the extensions, but the retracements. 1.55, actually 1.56 to 2.24 cents, somewhere in that area. That would be your 2272, 2618 area. It makes sense to me. 1618 lining up with the 0.5. You see, this is what I was saying earlier too, is that we could, because we found resistance at the 236, at the 382, we could find resistance at the 0.5. Line that up with this relative high to low fib. The 1618 golden extension is right there. We might find resistance. I did say our next target area was up here, and generally speaking, that is the expectation, is to hit that area. You don't really look to find significance on the 0.5, but this might be one of those times where you would expect it, right? You don't normally look to it, but whenever you see certain signs in the charts, which I'm getting that right now, I think we could find resistance at 0.0085, or even just a little bit higher, where this support area is, this consolidation phase is, right? But 0.0085, 0.011, something like that, could be our next resistance point. Come back down, find support, and then work our way up there, whatever. But inevitably, I would expect that we go higher. We do, finish off with a bang, but time will tell. We'll see how it goes. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more, guys. I do think XCN has a lot of growth it's got a lot of growth left in it by the end of this cycle. And I do not have more talking left in me, so that's that. Take care. Bye-bye. See you on the next one.